Hey guys, this semester we will be using MLA Format. I've actually been using APA format for the last 2 years in my EN 306B classes, so this is going to be a really great refresher for me too. A great resource for MLA would be our Easy Writer book, but I also wanted to draw your attention to the online writing lab at Purdue website, or OWL. It is an amazing resource. It makes everything super easy whether you're like looking for writing tips or MLA formatting information. The great thing about it is it's based off the most recent MLA handbook. So it's like unlike your Easy Writer where it will go out of it'll like get out of date. This will always be current. So I'm just going to draw your attention here first. And on this very first MLA General Format page, which I'll provide the link in the announcement when I attach this video, you will see all kinds of information. This is just like general guidelines about, using 1-inch margins, an easy to read font like Times New Roman 12 point, and then it goes down farther, it talks about more of the formatting. I won't read all of that to you, but it gives you an example of what the first page should look like. So let's take a look at that really quickly. You'll see you have the header with your last name and the page number, even on the first page. Then over here we have your name, my name, our class name, the date. All of this is double spaced, and then of course we have the title and then the rest of the paper, all indented, all double spaced. So I'm going to switch over really quickly to Word and just show you. Now, first of all, typically Word defaults to Calibri, so I'm just going to change it to Times New Roman, and I'm going to double click up into the header. Now, I have a Mac, so yours might look a little bit different if you have a PC, but it's all pretty much along the same guidelines. I always enter my page number first, because a lot of times if you type something and then add your page number, what you typed disappears when you add your page number. So I went top of the page on the right, show number on the first page, okay. Now I'm gonna hit Control R just to get that over to the right, and I'm gonna type my last name. Now, again, it defaults to Calibri, and I only changed it for the body of my paper, so I'm gonna fix it here too. Okay, so now I'm down here, I'm gonna go ahead and set it to double space. And I'm going to type my name like I'm the student, and then type my professor's name, and then the class, EN 105, and the date, which is August 17th, 2000, I don't know why I wanted to put 12, but 17. Okay, then we want to center it, so you can do Control E will center it, or you can go up here and use all these little icons. And then your title goes here. So notice its major words are capitalized. Hit Enter again. You can do Control L to get you back to the left. Hit the Tab button, and then you start your paper here. Remember, as you're typing, you don't need to hit enter at the end of each line. You just keep typing and it will magically, we'll just make it look these are words, will magically keep going. So don't hit enter at the end of each line. Some people do that. Okay, so let's pretend like our paper is done. I'm going to go to insert, and I'm going to hit page break. And I'm going to do Control E for center, works cited, and then Control L to go back to the left, and that's where I'm going to start my works cited. So now let's jump back over to the online writing lab. Okay, we're going to just go, there's all kinds of basic information you can read about, but let's check out the quotations. So here we have two different things. We'll talk about short quotations and long quotations. So first of all, let me say this. If you take anything from someone else, you have to give that person credit. If you use it word for word, you have to put quotation marks around the part that you have used word for word because it's not your writing. Even if you take it and you put it into your own words, you still have to give that source credit because it wasn't your original idea. If you do not do one of those two things, It is plagiarism. So make sure that if it's word for word, put in quotation marks, and if it's something that you took and you paraphrased and put it into your own words, which means you significantly changed the wording and summarized in your own words, then you still give the source credit. To give credit, you create what is called a parenthetical citation. So that's something that goes in parentheses, and that's typically the author's last name and the page number. So let's look at these examples here. The first one says short quotation. So anything that is fewer than 4 typed lines is considered a short quotation. Whenever you have a quotation, especially word for word, you need a signal phrase that leads into it. That means you need something like "as Smith says," or something like that that leads into the quotation. The quotation should never be standing on its own in your paper. So here are a couple of examples. Anytime you have a signal phrase that does not have the author's name in it, then your parenthetical citation needs the author's last name and the page number. So according to some, dreams express, and then that's all of our signal phrase, profound aspects of personality. Falk's 184. And then the next one, according to Falk's study, dreams may express profound aspects of personality. So here we have the name mentioned in the signal phrase, so we only need the page number at the end. Is it possible that dreams may express profound aspects of personality? Again, so all these, this is all something that somebody else wrote, so that's why it's in quotation marks. It came from Falk's. It's not mentioned this time in the signal phrase, so we have Falk's 184. Notice that the punctuation goes outside of the citation. That's like a little rhyme, a little mnemonic device you can use. Punctuation after citation. You'll see me, if you mess it up, you'll see me say that a million times in your essays. So make sure you're doing that. So boom, boom, boom. And this, even though it's weird, that question mark goes with this whole thing. So that's why it goes after that, because that's punctuation goes after citation. Oh my gosh. We're going to skip that part. That's about poetry. Okay, long quotations. 4 lines or more of typed, right? So this is a little different. I'm going to copy and paste this to, oh, hopefully that copy and paste well. We'll see what it does. But essentially when you have more than 4 typed lines, instead you do not use quotation marks. You actually, you type it and then you indent it, the whole thing, and then this time, as if this wasn't confusing enough, you do not put the quotation, or sorry, the citation, I can't use the right word, too many IONs. Okay, you do not put the punctuation after a citation with a long quote. I know there was some dude out there who created MLA and was like, oh, I got nothing better to do with my time. How can I make this as hard and confusing as possible? Oh, let me switch up the rules. So let me show you how this is going to look. Let's go back to our paper and let's really hope. I'm just going to say, please paste. I know it won't paste right the other way. So let's see if it does it. Yay. Okay. I'm just going to take this. So this is all part of my, I'm like, this is like my little signal phrase, right? And that's a complete sentence. So we have a colon. Colons only follow complete sentences. Not a little tip there. And then so I would naturally, let's see, enter down, type this, pretend I'm like I typed it super fast, and now I need to indent it. So what you do is you highlight it, and then whoops, on the home page there's this little indentation icon. Boom, indented. Period goes before the citation because it's that stupid rule that it's a long quotation. You hit enter. Oh crap, it's still indented. No worries. Bam, back. More writing happens here. Don't end a paragraph with a quotation. A quotation to like kind of support or give deeper meaning to what you're trying to say. So then you should have more writing. And then if you're at the end of your paragraph, you can conclude your paragraph But anyway, so that's that. Let's go back. We won't talk about any of that, but this is good if you're adding omitting words and quotations. Look at that. If you have quotation marks within your quotation, those quotation marks that are inside the quotation are going to turn into apostrophes or single quotes instead. Just a heads up. Okay, so now let's talk about, let's see. Now we're going to go to the reference page. Well, actually, let's look at the basic format so I can show you hopefully. Do they have a picture? No. Okay. We are going to go to the book page. So the big thing is you have to figure out what kind of source do I have. And you either have a book, you either have like a periodical, which is a newspaper, magazine, a journal, something that's periodically published, or you might have like an electronic source, like something from the internet. So you have to be like, oh, what kind of resource do I have? Well, I'm going to use our Easy Writer book as an example, and I'm actually going to use the 5th edition because I don't have the most recent one with me. I've left it at my house. So anyway, we're going to use that as an example. So once you figure out like, oh, I got a book, then you go here and you look at the basic book format. And they gave you like a general format for any book citation. They tell you, I love this, it's like medium is no longer necessary because you used to have to put print at the end, and now you don't. See? That's why it's important to be up to date on APA. Use the phrase accessed instead of listing the date or the abbreviation, you know, all that. Anyway, so we'll get to all that. Basic book format, last name, first name, period. Italicized, title of book, period. Publisher, comma, publication date, period. So pretty much it's like fill in the blank. You just follow that. Last name. So I'm looking at my Easy Writer 5th edition, and I'm like, oh, my last name, Lunsford. So we're going to go over here and type Lunsford. The next part was comma, and then her first name, which is Andrea. Okay, let's see what's next. Then it says title book in italics, and it even shows you kind of up here what to do when you have like a version or an edition. So, you know, author, title, title of container, so that'd be like a book, version, edition. And you can always look through and see like, oh, is there an example what I should do if you're not sure. So, but we're just going to start here. Title of book, italics, easy, Easy Writer. Okay, so go back to this. Easy Writer, let's see. And then publisher, I'm just going to follow this for now. But publisher, you would normally put the edition in, but I'm just trying to show you an example of how this works. So period and then publisher, and you can look in your book in the very beginning, usually on one of the first pages or two. And my publisher is Bedford St. Martin's. Oops, and then let's see what we have to do next, comma, publication date. Okay, so comma, publication date. So this one, again, looking into the beginning of your book, is 2014. Okay, so let's go back and look at this. Last name, first name, title of book, publisher, publication date. We got everything. So here's an example of how another one would look. Here's some other ones. If you have more than one author, here's what you would do. Notice this the second person actually isn't like last name, first name. It's first name, last name. Again, I don't know why people came up with such little crazy rules. And then 2 books or more books by the same author. Book with no author, blah, blah, blah. I'm just going to copy and paste one of these because I want to show you how to create this hanging indent. Okay, so also your works cited page should be in alphabetical order. So let's go to unformatted. Okay, perfect. So what you would do, oops, let me put this one first just to show you alphabetically correct. Okay. So I would type out like Michael or Foucault, comma Michael, Madness, blah, blah, blah. That's the book, so I'm going to italicize that. And then there's not a return there, just to show you. There's not a return, otherwise you'd see that little paragraph thing there. So just, it ran on to the next line. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight this. And actually, I'm going to grab one more just so you can really see how it works. I didn't even pay attention to that person's last name. And you probably don't have to do this. It's just like on a Mac. On a PC, if you do paste special to match what you already have, it doesn't do that. Okay, you don't have to tell it that same thing. So, oh look, Utah State. Cool. Okay. So anyway, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight all of this once I've finished all of my works cited. And if you mouse your little arrow here, it's like it's hard on a Mac. It's super easy on a PC. It's like, oh, there it goes. And you click and move it over 1/2 inch. And now you have what is called, on a PC it actually shows up and says hanging indent. But now those bottom lines are automatically indented for you. This one doesn't have one indented because it's only one line long. But that is how your reference page, or sorry, your works cited page should look. And then notice my page number continued over onto the next line. So if you had something like an electronic source, so you can look up here, it gives you some information about using URLs, abbreviations commonly used, basic styles. So it tells you all things are typically included in an electronic source, so you kind of know what to look for. And then it gives you an example. Like if you're citing an entire website, like this website here, if you are doing just a page on the website, which is more than likely what you'll be doing when you do some research, you'll probably just be using a page. If you use an image, an article in a web magazine, so if you find something from like Huffington Post or Time or something like that, article in an online scholarly journal, things like that, you would follow these examples. If you use one of the online databases that Park offers, if you had an email, I mean, look at this, a tweet, a YouTube video. I remember back when those weren't even in the MLA guide. So anyway, this is a great resource. I hope you guys use it. And I hope if you have any questions, you let me know. Oh, look, here's the sample I was looking for. See all these hanging indents? So, cool. All right, well, I hope this has been helpful.